How to Start Selling on Amazon 2019 edition. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 steps that you need to do to start selling and making money on Amazon. You may have heard that a lot of people are making a lot of money on Amazon. In fact, Amazon recently announced that over 100,000 people are making over $100,000 per year with Amazon and their program called FBA, which is Fulfillment by Amazon. So whether you're new to selling on Amazon and you're just starting to learn, or you've already been selling on Amazon, this video is going to have several different tips for you. So the first thing you need to do if you want to start selling on Amazon is what's called product research, okay? You need to find specific products that you can start selling on Amazon that will at least make you a couple $1,000s a month in profit, okay? And you really need what's called product research software to do this. Without that, it's much, much more time consuming, slower, and you really need to have way more knowledge to be able to do it manually. So when you're first starting off on Amazon, I recommend the cheapest and best way to go if you just need product research software is Jungle Scout. The Jungle Scout app can find you thousands of products that you can look for to find the very specific product that you would want to start with. And there's lots of things to start with, so we got lots of information here for you. So let's jump over to the Jungle Scout web app, and I'm going to show you a product that I literally just found about 5 minutes ago and what to look for and all the information you're going to need. Okay, so step number 1 is product research. You want to find a product that has several different criteria, okay? This is going to be a quick overview on product research. I have several other product research videos that are more in-depth that I'll link to at the end of this video for Jungle Scout and Helium 10 tool. But in this particular video, we're going to be looking for a product that's between $25 and $55. The reason you want to do that is so that you have enough profit to be able to sell. I recommend that you have at least $10 of profit per unit sold. So if you sell 1,000 units, you have $10,000 profit to work with. So then you can take that and spend some of that profit to advertise your product on Amazon, generally with Amazon pay-per-click. So I recommend with at least $25 on the small side per unit. Okay, and the other reason is that $25 is the current minimum to be able to get free shipping for your customers if they don't have Amazon Prime. Over 100 million people are paying for Amazon Prime right now, okay? But there's still another 100 or 200 million people that are on Amazon that don't pay for Prime. And if your product is at least $25, they get free shipping, okay? And that makes a big difference to people because they don't want to have to pay $5 or $6 or $7 for shipping and wait longer. People will they'll just pass on your product. Okay, so we're going to look for a product here between $25 and $55. Also in this particular search, I'm going to look for products that have no more than 30 reviews and no more than a 4.2 star rating. Okay, so Amazon rounds with their reviews and their review rating. So a 4.2 review rating is going to round down to a 4-star review rating. So anything that's a 4 stars or below product generally has a little bit of room for improvement. So you can find products that you can improve a little bit and differentiate a little bit and possibly even do better than the sellers we're going to find. Okay, I'm also looking for products that make between $6,000 and $26,000 in revenue per month, okay? So in this particular example, I chose kitchen and dining. That's a great category to start with. There's not a lot of restrictions, and you can pretty much just find a product and start selling it. So I already went through and found some products. And this first specific product, or one of the first products I found after only about 5 or 10 minutes using Jungle Scout, was this beach glass. It's a floating glass and it's acrylic and shatterproof. Okay, and I really like this. Okay, this product is making $23,000 per month here, you can see. And we're gonna bring it up right here. So they have 22 reviews with only a 4-star rating, okay? So there's some room for improvement. And they do have really good pictures here. So when you create your listing, we're gonna get to that in a little bit, you wanna have really good pictures like this, okay? And the nice thing about this is you can see that this glass floats, okay? And you can also see that you can put it in the sand. Okay, so it's very unique. I mean, I've never even seen a glass like this. Okay, so they're selling a 4-pack here for $45, which is a really nice price. Okay, you can have a good lot of profit in there. So the second step you're going to want to do when you're looking for a product to sell on Amazon is you want to look for something that you can differentiate and private label. Okay, so to differentiate a product, it doesn't have to be super complicated. You can change the design, like the pattern, the look of it. So in this particular case, you could put maybe, instead of just plain colors there, you maybe could have 1 or 2 with designs in there. You could offer other colors. Also, by differentiating it, this has a 4-star review, and some of the reviews said that it was great when you stuck it in the sand, but it wasn't that great when it was floating. Some people said it would float, but some people said they were scared it was going to spill their drink over when floating. So what you could do is you could bundle this product and add a couple floats that you could maybe stick on the bottom of the glass to make it float better, or you can just have the manufacturer maybe build a little float in there, maybe at the bottom of the cup, right where the stem starts, to help it float a little better. So you would be able to sell the same product, but your reviews and your listing can say, ours doesn't tip in the water like others do, so ours is way better. Okay, so that is the type of differentiating you want to look for when you're selling a product. Because if you just sell the same old product, you could make a lot of money. I mean, this guy's making $23,000 a month with only 22 reviews. So, I mean, generally you can get 22 reviews in like 2-3 months, you know, somewhere around there. So, I mean, you could sell the same exact product, but if you differentiated it a little bit and made it a little bit better or a little bit cooler, or a little bit nicer looking, or something that people were like, oh, wow, that one looks better, let me get that one. Then that's the type of product that you can sell when you only have a couple reviews, okay? So when you first start off, if you have 0 reviews and they have 22 reviews, if all else was equal, they're probably going to choose the 22 reviews. So you want to have a differentiation in there so that people will start jumping to buy your product as soon as they see it. The next thing you want to do is you want to private label. So what is private label? It's basically putting your own company name on this brand so that nobody can knock off your product, okay? So for example, this product is by The Beach Glass, okay? That is private label. They have, created a company called The Beach Glass, and they're selling this as The Beach Glass. So all you really need to do is in your box, you can just have your box say The Beach Glass, and then it's now your product. It's actually a little different because it's by your company. It has your company name on there and all that stuff. That's the simplest way to do it. So the third step that you need to do if you want to start selling on Amazon is find a manufacturer to make this. Now, the really cool thing about products nowadays is you can pretty much find a manufacturer to make anything and they're already making it. Okay, you don't have to go and redesign this and get a tooling and get a mold to make this stuff. Most of these things for sale on Amazon are already being sold by manufacturers somewhere in the world. And most people find their manufacturers from a company called Alibaba.com. Okay, Alibaba.com sells, it's a listing place for manufacturers, okay? So when you go in there and you go on Alibaba.com and you type in floating drink glass, there's gonna be a whole bunch of manufacturers that are already selling what you're searching for. Alibaba.com is a billion dollar company, okay? They're based out of China, so most of their manufacturers on there are Chinese, which is actually what people are looking for nowadays. The majority of products are sold and made from China, okay? It used to be made in Taiwan and it used to be made in Japan, but the quality of Chinese things are much higher nowadays and their rate is a whole lot lower. So if you want to go and buy these exact same products from, say, the US, the US has an hourly minimum wage of like $10 now per hour per person working there. So if you have a factory with 50 or 100 people working in there, I mean, that's tens of thousands of dollars just going by every couple hours every day. Okay, in China, their rate they pay people and the rate that people need to live on is a lot lower, but yet their quality is as high or even higher than the US can produce in a lot of areas. So if you actually went to the store, if you went to Walmart, for example, and just looked at an aisle of products, probably 90% of them say made in China. It's just how it is now. So you go on Alibaba.com and type in exactly what you're looking for. So in this case, we're looking for a floating drink glass. And you can see all these results here, and just a couple results down, I mean, literally on the first page is floating glass, shatterproof, literally the same type of thing. Okay, when you look at this and you look at this, you can see it's the same thing. In fact, this has a little extra piece here, and that might help the glass float better. Or you might have to add a little bit of something on, and that's how you can differentiate it. But here's the cool thing. If you look, you'll see that they're 35 cents to 70 cents per unit, okay? And that's basically for one glass. So if you're selling a 4-pack, and let's just take the middle price here. We haven't even negotiated with the manufacturer. By the way, I have an Alibaba video I'll link to at the end of this video that tells you how to negotiate with them. I have a template that you can send to manufacturers to negotiate price that you can get in that video. It's really great. So let's just say you're paying 50 cents per glass. So 4 glasses is only going to cost you $2, okay? And then you're going to have to pay for shipping. So when we go back to the listing here, I'm going to click up here on this thing called the Helium 10 Profitability Calculator. Okay, and this is from Helium 10. I'll link this down below. It's actually a free tool. You get a whole bunch of uses with your Helium 10 free membership. And what it's going to do is it's going to tell you all the information about this listing. So it's right here, it's telling me that it's a large standard size package. So you'd have to be careful. You don't need to really know all these details yet. You'll learn this stuff as you go on. I have videos on almost everything on my channel, so just view them if you have questions or ask me in the comments. But large standard size is the size right below oversized. Okay, so if you get into oversized packages, they like double the cost, okay? Your shipping's like double, your fees from Amazon are double because they have to ship out oversized packages for you, you know, and that's, I mean, so you want to stay away from oversized packaging if you don't have a nice big budget, okay? So for example, if you were to try to sell a 6-pack of this, you might bump it into oversized. Okay, and the price is $45 here, and it shows all this cool stuff. Now, Helium 10 is going to estimate the unit manufacturing cost. Now, we know that it's only $2. So when I put $2 in here, it's going to show me what the margin or ROI is. So the margin on this is almost 64%. That is absolutely amazing, okay? So for example, I look for, and I teach my students that you want to look for at least a 40% profit margin. This is at 63%, and I found this in 10 minutes. So this is a really great product to sell. The ROI is 750% on this item. So that means for every dollar you spend, you're making over 7 times more dollars back. So for example, if you spent $1,000 in inventory, when you sold them all, you would make back over $7,000 back from your $1,000 investment. So this is a really great product. And again, this is the Helium 10 Profitability Calculator. I have another video on profitability calculators that goes more in depth to kind of go over all this stuff. You can view that later. So, and another thing too here is I got the estimated shipping. So the shipping here is estimated at $1.64 per unit, and that's per box. So a box of 4, and that's about right. So your cost on these would maybe be around $3.64, give or take, you know, a few estimates and negotiating all that stuff. It's a really great profit, a really great cost for a $45 item. Okay, so once you've made your order with Alibaba, and there's certain ways to do that, watch my Alibaba video, the next step to do is to ship it to Amazon. Okay, so you would go in your Amazon account, create a shipping, a shipping label and print out all that stuff. But what you really need to do is you need to ship that from China over to the US. So how do you do that? You do that with what's called a freight forwarder. It's basically a company that is going to handle all this stuff for you. They're going to pick it up in China. They can do an inspection for you if you want, and they will ship it to your Amazon warehouse. So with Amazon FBA, Amazon does all the shipping for you, all the customer service for you. all that amazing stuff for you. So if you sold 100 of these units in one day or 100 of these in 1 month, Amazon is going to ship out those 100 to all those different places, and they're going to do this stuff for you. All you have to do is send your inventory to their warehouse, and it sits there, and as they sell, they kind of pick them up and send them to all the people. That is what is so amazing about Amazon, is that, and they just announced 1-day shipping for Prime. So Prime members are going to go from 2 days to 1 day. So they're literally going to be able to order this. Let's just say they had a party they're going to on Friday and they wanted to order these cool beach glasses. They can literally order it like on Wednesday and get it in time for the party. They don't have to go to stores and look around, leave their house, all that stuff. That is why Amazon businesses are blowing up right now, because there's so much opportunity to sell products. People don't even have to leave their home. They get it shipped to them in a day or two. In some cities, they get it same day. It's absolutely amazing. So to ship this, you hire a freight forwarder to handle this stuff for you. They're going to pick up the item in China for you. They're going to ship it, and they're going to, send it to your Amazon warehouse. So in our Amazon FBA Facebook group, we have a recommended freight forwarder, and we make sure that they are going to give the best service to everybody in the group, okay? So this makes sure that they don't scam anybody, or they don't overcharge anybody, or if they start making mistakes, people in the group will start talking about it, and it kind of holds them accountable. So if you want to know the current freight forwarder that our group is using, just join our Facebook group, link down below, and ask, and we'll give it to you. And you can get a price quote from them and kind of compare it if you need to, and all that good stuff. And if the freight forwarder doesn't work out, in a month or two, we may have a new one, and that's the benefit about being in this group. Not only that, you can ask questions about any questions you have. So the last and final step to start selling on Amazon is to create your listing and to launch your product, okay? So normally you're gonna C-ship, or I recommend you C-ship your items to China, especially for the first time that you're selling a new product, because you're not out of stock. So you can kind of wait a couple extra weeks for C-shipping to get there, because it's like half the cost or less of air shipping, and you might as well save money and be able to use it for advertising. But while you're waiting for the C-shipping to go there, you can set up your product listing, so your actual listing on Amazon. So when we go back here to their listing over here, let me close this. You have to set up your pictures. You can work on your pictures. If you need a photographer or a Photoshopper, you can ask us in the group and we'll give you our recommendation. So this listing has very good photos, and this is the type of photos you want to have. So it actually looks here like this is actually real photos. So a lot of listings and a lot of photos on Amazon are actually done by Photoshoppers now. So for example, I actually think this is done by a photographer too, but this listing, they probably spent like $1,000 or more on their pictures. But what most Photoshoppers or really good Photoshoppers can do is they will take your items, so they'll take these glasses and they'll put it on this deck here for you, and then they'll put a hat here next to you, and they'll create this, okay, by Photoshopping your glass. So for example, like this picture, this is probably Photoshopped, okay? They probably just took that glass, took a picture of sand, added the glasses on, okay, and added the wording around there. So you don't have to actually hire models to do this stuff most of the time. I think that these are actually real pictures. Well, but actually that glass could be just Photoshopped into that girl's hand. That could be a stock photo with her drink Photoshopped in there. So you need to get good pictures, and you need to do listing optimization. So this is a pretty well optimized listing. They have keywords in their title. I have a whole listing optimization video that you can watch that kind of goes more in depth with that. So once your product actually hits Amazon and goes for sale, day one, it's for sale, people can start buying it. The next thing you need to work on is launching your product. So I have other videos on my channel that I'll link to at the end of this, and I'll link these down below in the description for you too. I have a video on how to rank on the first page with Amazon pay-per-click. So when your product, especially when your product is brand new, you need to advertise your product, okay? Because you're not gonna be on page 1, you're not even gonna be on page 2 unless your listing is really good and it's a low competition niche. okay? So you need to advertise your product. So my how to rank on page 1 PPC video, you should watch that. That's an awesome video. And the other video you should watch is how to optimize your Amazon PPC campaigns. Okay, so in that video, I go over how pay-per-click generally performs when you're a brand new listing, a brand new product with 0 reviews. And if you do everything right, how it can perform after month 1 and month 2 and month 3. Okay, so that video kind of shows, so a lot of people don't realize that your advertising is not going to perform that well at the beginning. And a lot of it is because your campaigns need time to warm up and to learn the data. And also is you need more reviews. So when you start with 0 reviews, you are really not that great of a product because a lot of people don't want to buy 0 reviews. So if you had this exact same product and you had 0 reviews and then the other listing had 22 reviews, which one do you think people are going to buy? They're going to buy the one with 22 reviews if all else was equal. So generally, you want to have like a differentiated product where it's cooler looking or it adds more value, or people just, when they look at the two, they're like, yeah, I want that one. You know, or you're a couple dollars cheaper or something like that, okay, while you get reviews. You need to be actively seeking reviews. So go and watch my review video on how to do that. My review videos helped out thousands of people. Yeah, I literally get messages about it every day, teaching people how to get reviews, because a lot of people don't know how, and they're just sit back and hope and wait for reviews, and that's not the best way to launch your product, okay? So those are the top 5 ways to start selling in Amazon right now. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon after you subscribe so you get notifications when I release a new video. I got new videos coming out, 1 or 2 per week, and they have tons of information just like this video did. I'm going to link a couple more videos up here that we just talked about that you'll want to watch. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.